Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how I rebind books in leather. I actually have a copy of Frankenstein that was missing the front cover, and then I went ahead and took the back cover off and cleaned off the sides so that I could go ahead and do this without having to make you guys wait on that. So basically, I'll just kind of show you what I do. It's going to be really crappy angles, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Most of the time, I notice that in these books, you're going to have, like, the very, very front page is going to be the same as the second page, like in this one. So you have this, then if you turn it in, you're going to have the very same thing on the second page. So what I do, if I can, is just use this and then my very back page to adhere it to the leather. I use this stuff that I got off of Amazon. It's just like professional quality adhesive that is, quote, ideal for book binding and paper projects. So it remains flexible, but is still very sticky and adhesive like. So I'm going to kind of move this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe. I don't know how well that's going to work out. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a spare sheet of paper because this glue, like, it doesn't come out of the tip very well, so I just take and put a little puddle on a piece of paper. I bought a book binding set that had thread and needles for sewing books in leather, and it also came with this, which is just to spread your glue. So I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And so then I just take it and apply it straight to the book. Pretty liberally. I mean, you'll want to, if there's any just globs, you'll want to kind of even that out so that it doesn't bubble when you attach it to the leather. And there may be the edge on the edges. You may have to go back once it's actually on the leather and kind of play with it and add a little bit more glue on the sides. So just, and you want to be careful not to pull that front page from the rest of the book binding because it's easy to do when you're applying the leather. So I always end up getting sticky fingers trying to hold it down while I'm spreading glue. Alright, so then I'm just going to take it. You guys can see, here's my leather. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to even it up with where I want it to sit on the leather. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to take some more of the glue and go ahead and do this binding here. So this is, you can see that this is the edge. You're just gonna get more glue. Say hello to Booger. And again, like, if you get some on the leather or whatever, it's not a big deal. It dries clear, just like regular old Elmer's glue. And honestly, if you've got clear Elmer's glue, like the liquid, that's okay to use. But I prefer, if you don't have this decent glue, to just use like a regular glue stick to attach the paper to the leather. It works. It's just there's a lot more as far as having to go back and make sure that all of the paper is actually attached to the leather. Found that you have to do a lot more on the sides. And so then I'm just gonna apply some glue to the back page. This is super simple. And you may find that a couple of your pages in the back and in the front get attached. not a big deal. As long as you're careful, you can separate those. You'll get a little bit of glue on them inadvertently, and then all you have to do is, like I said, just kind of spread them apart, and all is well there. So what I'm going to do now, I've got all the glue attached. So I always take the side up first, like this, and attach it and kind of pull it forward and get it on the book before I flip the cover, because I don't want to have any middle part that's not attached, and just kind of straighten that out. Make sure your edges are on, and then now the back is on. Okay, just kind of flatten that out. Like I said, just make sure you're not bubbling the edge. Excuse me. All right, so that part's done. It'll, see, I got my back pages there. All right, so now you can go ahead and open it up in the front and in the back. And what I mean, here, I'll show you what I mean, hang on. So when I say it bubbles, you can kind of see a little bit right here and right here where it kind of bubbled up, where there was glue. Mine, there's a line right there from the leather being sewn. However, let me see. Okay, so just make sure you kind of wipe that flat. Like I said, make sure you try not to pull the binding out. Yeah, but you can just kind of, like you do when you're putting on a screen protector, just kind of rub it flat like that, and that'll take care of the bubbles. And I'll do the same thing with the back page. With this one, my leather is actually too big, so what I'm going to end up doing is just taking scissors and trimming the leather to size. And I leave, again with the crappy camera angles, I leave probably, I leave about that much. I'm going to trim that down, and then this will kind of flap over, and it's going to tie. And that's how that works. And other than trimming it down, all done. That's it. It's that simple. I'm going to take a piece of suede, and I bet I'm sideways. I'm going to take a piece of suede, and I'm going to punch a, well, I'm actually going to, because work smarter, not harder, I'm going to drill a small hole in the leather on the right-hand side where it will kind of flat back over, and then I will wrap the suede twice around the book, and then it will tie in the front. That way, you know, the leather's a little bit floppy. If you just put it on a shelf like that, it won't be quite as like, it'll fold back unless you're really careful. So I just like to wrap them in the suede. But once we get done, that's what it'll look like. There's the front, there's the back, and again, got to trim the leather, but other than that, pretty cool. And I'll show you what it looks like once I do that. Thanks, guys.